no cheating. While you fast, you fast. But, okay, like say, I'm going to repeat it afterwards when more people are in. Having said that, you know your own body best. If you're not feeling well, you stop. Okay, you have to start doing eating, feeding, whatever. Even go and see your personal physician. All right. Nothing said, nothing shared in here should be taken as an overriding rule for what you're doing right now, for whatever medication you're taking, so on and so forth. Okay, that's very important. You know yourself. You know how you're feeling. You know that that's not right. And if you're feeling, overwhelmed with not having food and all that, you stop. Okay. But for the rest of us, fairly healthy or has got the ability to see through this couple of just a short 4 days, but it's important that you see through all the way. Like I say, there's been a little study conducted by the University of Sydney. They did a very scientific study with measurements. They did on mice, which is analogous to human, of course, but the time span a bit different. What they found that if you do like what they call every other day kind of fasting. Okay, so they actually have a short acronym for it, right? EODF. Every other day fasting means you actually eat one day, fast one day, eat one day, fast one day. Apparently, it's not so effective when it comes to your belly fats and all that. All right, certain fats, because there are different places whereby it store fat. So some places actually you see it go down, but if you are thinking of losing that waistline, then every other day fasting will not help, apparently, according to the latest study.
Sorry, you cannot.
Yeah. They just actually can see that it's a scientific paper. It's released, it's a renowned university. It's released to the scientific world just yesterday, 3rd of March. So you all can read about it afterwards. We have what? Less than last week, right? 39, 40. Okay, the moment it hits 40, I start, all right? I tell you what I'm going to do is that, like I say, this week we're going to try to kick over to make sure we're going high res. So I'm going to go into the slide mode now, and hopefully you should be able to see it slide. So give me a bit of time, you'll see it switching afterwards, all right? So I'm going to switch to a
Maybe one.
slide mode here. Yeah. And then you would actually be able to see, you try to zoom. If you can zoom, that means it is in high res, okay? Hold on, here, I'm search. Moment, let me just switch to the right screen for you. It takes a while. This is cheating, right? We've found a way, with research, we've found a way to cheat Zoom so that Zoom doesn't restrict our... Okay, try to zoom up. If you're able to zoom up, it's... If you're not able to pinch and zoom up, it's still low res. Let me try to go higher. I have to reset it a bit. Okay, back here. Hold on. Seems like this is still not in the high res mode I want. Hold on. Filters, virtual cam. I'm going to stop. I'm going to start again. Yep. Okay, just a moment. Let me try to get you to... I hope you can zoom out. Apparently it's still not, Oh, I tell you, you know what? But is it sharp enough? What do you think? Because, yeah, you see, the thing is, again, I think what Zoom has done is it's lowered the resolution a bit, but it should still be sharper than before, okay? We'll just leave this as this, and you should be able to see me. All right, so you actually see me in as a presenter in one corner, wherever your screen is. So, like say, use landscape for the entire presentation tonight, including afterwards. I'm going to share with you some of the WhatsApp postings and photographs. So just maintain this landscape thing. Okay, I'm going to bring this over so I can see all these people here. Well, that's fast. Okay, we have now 45 people. Everyone welcome. I think some of you would probably be feeling a bit tired and so on and so forth. It could be, because due to the fact that you're having your fasting pre-fasting. Actually, this is still not full-fledged fasting, right? This is just preparation to get yourself going. So, okay, welcome. Again, I mean, for those of you that have not joined us last week or that do not know me or have not actually seen some of my previous presentation, or I have never visited you either here at the office in Singapore or in any of the town cities in Malaysia, my name is Melvin Lee. I'm one of the speakers for Inchaway. I'm not an employee of Inchaway. I have my own business. But like most of you, I'm already a user of Inchaway products for a few years. And of course, have participated in many of their programs, including other than hosting for them. Also being just an ordinary consumer like yourself. Okay, so let's get started. Like I say earlier on, important thing is know this. Whatever we discuss tonight, whatever you see are the contents that's presented herein, they are only for your information, right? You do not use them and think that, wow, this is the gold standard, and as a result, you have decided to stop taking any of the medication that's prescribed by your own medical doctor or physician, okay? You should always consult your appropriate health professionals on any matter relating to your health and well-being, okay? Very important. This is a disclaimer. Do not do that, despite the fact that you think that you know the subject very well, okay? You need a physician to guide you. Okay, we're going to talk about, like we did last week, light fasting. What exactly is 18672 light fasting? I think you have heard a lot about fasting, especially it's becoming very much of a fad this last couple of years. Anything from Hollywood to Bollywood film stars to social media influencers, to everybody, the who's who in town, especially since 2016. It's becoming a fad to go into fasting. Sometimes they call it intermittent fasting. Sometimes you hear numerous like 16-8, which is basically you fast for 16 hours and you can only eat within the 8 hours, and then you continue the whole cycle again, so on and so forth. Okay. What we've done is that 18672, this is something that was specially formulated, through our years of experience and collation of all the data to our end users and all that. Plus, of course, a lot of professional scientific fact finding. This is Inchaway's own very light fasting method. Now, this is almost like fasting with trainer wheels on your bicycle, right? When you're young, you see your dad and your elder brother or your elder sister riding on a big, adult bicycle, and you always wanted to go on it, but you can never make it because you can't balance, right? So to get into it, you usually start off with a little small child bicycle, and they add 2 wheels at the back. So this is a training. We'll get you light into this. But having said that, even if you are on training wheels, this is going to be very useful. You can get more advanced over time, and of course you can do it more often than only this total of 12 days, right? We have got pre-fasting 4 days, we've got actual fasting 4 days, and then we've got 4 more days of refeeding. So I think this is something that some of you are looking for. I mean, a smaller, slimmer waistline. But more important thing really is that health and beauty, it comes naturally, okay? This to be healthy, you get good skin, you get a lighter weight, you feel better, you feel clearer. So let's look at your timetable this last. Many of you are very happy, striking off. I think you've already done. Now we're into the 3rd day of our so-called diet period, which means that we expect you to be slowing down, right? Avoiding eating all the pan-fried, deep-fried, smoked, grilled, less sugar, salt, avoid eating after 10 p.m. Hopefully you can even start right now as I speak. That's why I already struck off 4th of March. So 2, 3, 4 is already gone, okay? Tomorrow is your last and final day of preparation, okay? You want to just get used to it. I'm looking at those pictures. I'm really encouraged by many of you. You did it. Some of you still take fairly regular stuff, kway teow and all that. But the rest of you took very healthy stuff and in much smaller portions, okay? Along with some Inchaway superfoods and all that. So comes Saturday. That is when light fasting will start, right? That's the 6th, this Saturday. And you're only gonna eat, feed yourself 3 times, okay, throughout the day, and fasting for the rest. So it's 8 a.m., just those few items there, Okay, this is what you have. I think for those people who actually registered and signed up, you only paid like something like $16.60 or to that effect. And the company actually gave you 12 sachets of the Cell Pro there. So that would be enough. So one day you actually use like 3 sachets, okay? And then for over 4 days, you actually use up the 12. The rest you would probably already have, right? Your incher oil, some of you have balance. I think I heard from Carol this last couple of days. She was seeing a lot of people rushing to the office to order new stock, right? New food, new packages, new cartons all shipping out because new incher guard, new incher well. All right. So looking at it again, remember once it comes Saturday, you're only eating every 6 hours. All right. So basically, that's why you have got the 18 and then 6. Right. This throughout this one, there's a break of 6 hours. It's 8 a.m. You're going to take once, 2 p.m. and then 8 p.m. and thereafter that's it. No, you do not. Okay, try not to cheat in the main 4 days of light fasting. This you're doing it for yourself. Okay, that's a reason why we pick the items there. The only thing I should point out is this. Now you look at the item at 8 a.m. You have got the blue color Incherwell, which is actually Incherwell for men. Now, Incherwell for men, this would be regardless of whether you're a man or woman. You take the blue Incherwell in the morning. All right. This means because of the ingredient difference between this and the female version of Incherwell, this actually helps increase your metabolism. Okay. But for men, once it comes 2 p.m., while the ladies go for their female Incherwell, guys, you stick with your blue color Incherwell. Okay? You're going to stick with your blue Incherwell for men. Okay? You're not gonna end up with a estrogen. That's like a female hormone there for you. All right? And of course, 8 p.m., that's it. So after that, again, we'll bring you back, ramp you up. The thing is that after fasting, like say, although this is light fasting, it takes a while for your body to go back into its normal feeding rhythm. Okay, so we're going to take it easy. After light fasting for 4 days, you're going to spend another 4 days period refeeding yourself. Okay, from scientific studies, it's been known that in past where people actually fast for a long time, or who have been starving or is lost out in the jungle, haven't eaten for a week, 2 weeks, and suddenly you feed them, they'll have what is known as a refeeding syndrome. They'll get very sick. So you need to be guided. You need to really slowly ramp it up to feed yourself again. Okay? Now let's get started. Why are we now looking at and why it's so popular, to have any kind of fasting? Whether it's very light fasting, intermittent fasting, all the different kind of days, different kind of hours, combination, ratio, etc. It's because of what we are being fed with, what is exposed, what we are eating every day. All right? You look at all the goody stuff, you look at all the delicious stuff that you're eating. They may be delicious, they may taste good, but they may not be necessarily good for you at all. I'm going to show you examples why, okay? Even based it on what nutritionists will tell you today. Now look at this. These are the foodstuff of what I would call modern civilization. Now, in olden times, even if it's just a century back, you probably will not have as much of this that you find today. If you go back, let's say 150 years, definitely you won't have any of this. The problem is that there's a lot of preservative, colorants, that's agent, there's a lot of sweetener, everything has been processed. Okay? Now, what happens is this. The early days, they found out when they do research as they go about, they found that in the early, all the missionaries and all that, they go about to Africa, to all the backward, countries, even early days of America. You're finding that all this diseases here, you see, one is coronary artery disease, of course, all your blocked arteries, your blood vessels, obesity, overweight, your diabetes, your colorectal cancer, which is a large intestine, or breast cancer, or tooth decay, right? Constipation. All this did not exist. Did not exist until when they find that, people like so-called the white man, or probably including some of our Chinese, we start going, to all their other countries, and they start following our feeding methods. Okay, they start following out what the white men eat, how they eat, what they actually add, what flavorings they go with, what are spices or a lot of sugar perhaps that they never had been exposed to, then you had all these diseases come. Before that, like this was recorded, documented, where it didn't exist. None of this exists. And if you hear something telling you that, if your diet is not balanced, you're all carbo or all protein only, then you'll be in trouble. You'll fall sick. Let's take a look at it. Actually, it's not true. Now, if you look at some of these early native nations, these are the Red Indians, okay? 我们叫印第安人 right? The Red Indian. Last time as a primary school, you were singing a song, one little, two little, three. Okay, I mean, these are the people that we're referring to. So when doctors and scientists visited in the early days, they found that malignant disease, this means things like cancer and tumors and all that, are extremely rare, right? Despite their diet, right? And not one instance of blockage of blood vessels. Okay, arteriosclerosis, none, not a single one. This is 1918. Look at this. These are the Eskimos, Inuit. Inuit, these are the people that stays around the Arctic Circle, right? Way up in the north, at Canada, Alaska, Iceland, Greenland, etc. Right? They found that commonly stated that cancer does not occur in Eskimos. Okay, what are they eating? They're eating all the raw, the fish, the blubber, and all that seals that they actually hunt, and so on and so forth. Throughout that few years, right, 24 years shown here that they did the study, 1950 to 1974, there was only one single case of diabetes. Probably that single person followed some foreigner, okay, or that some foreigner passed that person some sweets or whatever, okay, candies perhaps. Just imagine 24 years, all the Eskimos, all the Inuits, only one case of diabetes, right? Let's look at this. This is the Maasai. These are the African nomadic, right? These are the people that actually move from places, plains to plains. They actually drive their sheep, their flocks and all that. So their diet's mostly milk, meat, and of course all the blood from it. They rarely, if at all, eat fresh vegetables, okay? Now, these are the people in Kenya, Africa. Again, not a single case of high blood pressure, no obesity. Okay, what they're doing here is, see in the picture, they're playing a game. See, you just jump on 2 feet, see who can jump the highest. So I think they'll be winners in the high jump at the Olympics. So Maasai, look at that. Again, no vegetables, right? Which means no fiber, right? Very little fiber sometimes that our modern nutritionists should tell you, but they have got no high blood pressure, they have got no obesity, despite it's all meat, right? And it's red meat, obviously. Tuki Center, this is PNG, this is Papua New Guinea, all right, way down south. Early days before this, before they were all dressed up like that, they were so-called, some of them believed that were headhunters. They come around hunting you, they string the skull, they wear it around their neck. Now, 94.6% of energy intake comes from carbo, okay? Carbohydrate only, 94.6. That's almost near to close to 100%, right? And they found them to be fit, lean, muscular, okay, despite the fact that, hardly any protein that you imagine that is not present, but there is. Okay, there are actually proteins even in all this food. So there's no sign of protein deficiency. All these are studies, valid studies documented. This was from 1981. Let's look at this. Some of you have also visited this place. That's Okinawa. Okinawa is at the southern tip of Japan. Okinawans are known as some of the longest living with life expectancy in the world. Okay, this is Chongsen Dao. You can go into some of the villages. I think you have a lot of over 100 years old living in there. And guess what? 85% of their diet are carbo. Okay. And that was some of this. Then this number will put us to shame, myself definitely. Their average BMI, body mass index, is 20.4. Okay, I'm at least, I think, a 23 or thereabout at my height and weight, and I think that I'm okay. But look at them; they are 20.4, and they eat their whole life. Look at what they are planting. Okay, straight out from the ground, they harvest it, they eat it. These are the Okinawans. And then the conclusion therein is this, is that populations can still be healthy with diets of majority, 95% carbo or 95% meat, on conditions that They do not eat any refined or processed foods. They do not eat sugar. They eat very little, no flour. Okay, sugar, flour, all this are all processed, modern, civilized, manufactured food. That what we've been doing to ourselves, all the nice stuff, all the cakes, all the donuts and whatnot and whatnot. So important thing, whatever their diet had been, as long as it's all natural, most of the time is that they are still fairly healthy. But we, on the other hand, has been eating ourselves into diseases, all sorts of diseases, okay? Especially sugar. Just now you saw that one of the lists, right, of diseases of civilization is tooth decay. Before our times, our forefathers there's no hardly any. I think there's no dentist. They don't even have. They have a witch doctor that probably once in a blue moon would only help you extract a tooth. So there's no tooth decay because they do not consume sugar. What happens is this is another study done in 66, a book. A lot of people actually bought this book, ordered this book, called the saccharine disease. Saccharin is another name for sugar, obviously. What our modern food manufacturers try to do, and of course these are all for commercial gains, is that they make you over-consume, okay? Satiety signals evades, means that we'll eat and we feel that we're still not full enough, we can eat some more. So you already have a 10-course dinner, and then you feel that, hey, I think I still have some room for some more desserts, okay? You do not have that signal going to your brain that tell you, I'm already full. They remove all the proteins from most stuff, including all the carbo, right? That tapioca, that sweet potato that they dug up, they make into chips and all that, or potato chips. They actually remove all the protein from it with the excuse that it'll help you speed up your digestion, all right? They remove same thing, fiber and fat, again with the excuse that it'll help speed up digestion for you. Supposed to be better for you? No, it's not. Okay, this is the root of all the problems that what we're doing consuming today. Okay, now let's go into something that's affect a lot of people. Insulin. I think we probably have got maybe a couple of diabetic or pre-diabetic, among us here, or of friends and family members who are diabetic. Now, the insulin, as you always hear actually diabetics having to inject themselves with insulin and so on and so forth, was only discovered, I think, in the early 1920s, okay? And especially for people born at one time with type 1 diabetes, without insulin, because they can't produce insulin, their pancreas, the beta cells can't produce, or it's actually damaged and so on and so forth, they can practically die, right? So the first case of using insulin to treat someone was back in 22. So it's 110122, right? The number there, a lot of people remember this because it's so easy to remember. There was a 14-year-old boy with diabetes who is basically dying, right? Just laying there. So this Sir Banting, he actually extracted ox insulin from ox, from the ox pancreas, injected. But because that insulin wasn't pure, so there was a lot of allergic reaction. I think he almost died. He almost basically went into a coma, reaction. And then his fellow doctor, James Collips, worked the next 12 days trying to purify the thing and gave him another injection, and the guy was cured. Okay, that's so amazing. Okay, so what exactly is the role of insulin? Here, insulin this, insulin that, short of insulin. Each time you eat, you have to inject insulin, right, for all the diabetic. Now, the role of insulin, basically it's a key. Our cells, our body consists of cells in all the way everywhere. Every single organ around our body are cells. Now, insulin is the key to allowing your cell, to telling your cell now that please open the door to take in the nutrients, to absorb the glucose in the blood, to let it enter the cell. So the cell has a lock door. Insulin is the key. All right. So what happens is that whenever, your body detects that once you eat, every time you eat, you have a meal, the blood sugar, which is sometimes known as the A1C if you do a blood test, right? Blood sugar in your blood will actually rise. The moment your blood sugar rises, pancreas will actually produce insulin, and with insulin, the cells will start opening their door, unlocking themselves, and start absorbing all this glucose in the body. All right. So insulin is very, very important. Without it, or if you've got a faulty supply of insulin, you'll die. Let's look at this example. Okay, this is a girl back in 22. So this girl, usually all young children, and guys at a very young age has got type 1 diabetes. So she has actually type 1 diabetes. So she's deficient in insulin. And after this picture, if she's not treated, she'll probably die within days or within 1 week, okay, or so on and so forth. So what happened is that they will have to treat her. So they introduce insulin, okay, give her injection, treat her over time, so she actually eat. Now, the picture in A doesn't mean that she can't eat. She's still trying very hard to feed herself. Just that her body, the cells are not receiving all the nutrients, not opening its door to the glucose. So she's starving herself to death. So in a way, basically the raw insulin, if you're diabetic type 1 sufferer, basically insulin deficiency means your cells are starving. Makes sense, right? Cell starvation. Okay, your cells are starving. You're starving to death. If you don't have insulin that's provided to you through injection or whatever, you die. Okay, in a matter of time. So there was this story about these few doctors, 4 of them, as a group of doctors, Banting and Collip. They actually went into one big hall. That hall in the hospital is almost like where all the diabetic children just lies there. Okay, as far as the doctors are concerned, back those days is that that's the end of it, right? You as a family member just come there, go to that big hall whereby there are 50, 100 children lying there, dying, just waiting for the hour to come. So what happened is that they went in, they injected the first person, from the first person to the 50th person, they injected everyone with insulin throughout the whole hall. By the time they reached the first, all these children were already semi-conscious, they're unconscious, they're in coma. By the time they actually start to inject the 50%, the first few children started waking up. Okay, it's that powerful. It's that powerful if you're treated properly. Okay, so if diabetes, if lack of insulin or insulin problem is about self-starvation, tell me. Okay, explain this to me. How can this be a diabetic? How can this be an insulin-related problem? But it is. Okay, people with a big fat belly, because you know that, obviously the cells are not stuffed. They are bloated, all right? Whereby you have all this pot belly. So actually everyone, probably out of 9.8, 9.9 upon 10, people with a big waistline are what's known as insulin resistant. This is their problem. And insulin resistant usually will lead to T2D, type 2 diabetes over a long term, okay, in the long term. Right. So again, what exactly is insulin resistance? It tells the cells all because of the way that the insulin works, right? Oh, please open up. But what if, okay, it malfunctions and the glucose is unable to enter the cells as one and accumulate in the bloodstream, all right? That's one. The other phenomenon, obviously, is that what if the cell is already full? Right, you're supposed to be storing, letting glucose in and then converting it to lipids, to fats, and then storing it for future use. The future could be just in 12 hours time, in 24 hours time, so on and so forth. The moment you stop eating, right, when your body starts to starve, when the cells start to starve, it should now be able to make use of your fats or lipids to produce energy, the other way around. But while insulin is there, it's supposed to be taking in, not giving up, right? But people with insulin resistance will not be able to take in anymore. Just look at some examples. This. Why does insulin occur? It means it's complex, right? Genetic factors, it could be environmental, it could be what you're eating, like say all the processed foods and all that, right? Gene mutations throughout, and then you acquired behaviors such as, you end up being obese, or if you're smoking, or you're simply laid back, couch potato, you do not exercise, you probably end up with insulin resistance. Now look at this picture here and look at this picture. You remember? Especially our friends who have been to Japan many times, right? And our nutritionists, okay? Look, this is exactly it. So insulin resistance came from basically an overflow when your cell is already full. It's overflowing. No matter how much insulin you're going to pump, no matter how hard you push, you're not going to try to get any more glucose in, okay? It's already overflowing. This is insulin resistance because it's overflowing, all right? So what we want to find ourselves in most of the time, hopefully, is what we to be on the left. When you have a normal GI, your normal blood sugar, glucose is there absorbed, and then whatever is with insulin, you'll be absorbed into your liver, which then can actually store it, right? But if you're insulin resistant, then you have high blood sugar, and that sugar has got nowhere to go. Finally, you just store all the fats, will just go everywhere, around waistline, around all your body parts and all that. This is what we call some visceral fat. There are some people that actually has got fats around their organs. So these are people with sometimes thin outside, fat inside. They look thin outside, right? Well, may not have a very illustrious big waistline, but they are still actually lining themselves out with a lot of fats around all their organs. So you have fatty liver and so on and so forth. So same thing. Once you have insulin resistance, now the adipocytes, these are all the fat cells. Okay, these are exactly fat. So the fat cells get full, and end of story. Okay, no matter how much insulin come in, it will resist. It will not open the door. It will not let more in. You'll just go out, and all this glucose will be converted to fats. Okay, and ultimately the B cells, the beta cells, these are the cells that's actually produced in the pancreas. Beta cells get exhausted, and some of them do die, right? Of course, all cells die, reproduce, and they produce more. But for a long time, doctors have been telling you, as long as you're confirmed diabetic, once your cells are dead, they're dead, gone, end of story, zilch, no recovery. But apparently, that's not so true, okay? Chances are, if you know how to take care of yourself, you may be able to recover from diabetes. So if you do that, you may be in a pre-diabetic, a state for easily 5, 8, 10, 12 years, and then suddenly on the next day you become a full-fledged diabetic. Okay, so you can be pre-diabetic for a long time. How do you know? Is that you actually have got very high blood sugar, it's not regulated, you still feel a lot of symptoms. Afterwards, I'll introduce the symptoms to you. Okay, how does a typical physic, right? Of course, there are all types of people we have, and of course, depending on genetic, a normal insulin-resistant body will look like. Recognize some in the mirror, maybe, okay? People like that are definitely insulin resistant, right? And you compare, let's say your body structure, your bone structure, your muscle structure, all being the same, with and without all the additional fat and some of this, what we call visceral fat. These are all wrapped around your organs. Makes a difference. Look at this. The same body structure, okay? The same bone structure. Probably the bones weighs the same, but the person is another, 130 pounds heavier. And the 130 pounds comes from all the fat deposits, okay, in the body itself. So this is what happens. So once you are insulin resistant, okay, you start feeling all sorts of things. So it's a very negative cycle, okay? It's a negative feedback cycle that goes round and round and round. And despite what you try to do, so you go and see a doctor. Doctor will probably prescribe metformin. You have to do, so more severe cases, you have to actually have your insulin pen to inject yourself before every meal and so on and so forth, okay? Then you start feeling tired after a meal. You've got mobility pain because of your body weight. I mean, now all your joints have to carry all the additional weight. Upper abdomen obesity, that's why where's the waistline at, increased fat storage. Thyroid are very low, estrogen, too much estrogen here. Things like the polycystic ovary syndrome. Okay, you've got acne, got a hairy face, you got this and that going. So always constant weight gains, right? It's not even ping pong, coming back and forth. You just gain weight, and you feel hungry all the time. Okay, having a sweet tooth will be an understatement for you if you are insulin resistant. Okay, you're always craving for sugar because you need that sugar rush. Right? Not enough in the blood, and so on and so forth. Okay, then you go into all sorts of problem, right? Apnea. What is apnea? Apnea is when you actually fall asleep, and in your sleep you actually stop breathing. And if you stop long enough, you'll probably just die. Okay, so people with the thick fats around, as you droop your neck, you lie down, you actually cut off your airways, and you actually just die, in your sleep, in a sense. So arteriosclerosis, liver inflammation, definitely. Okay, cirrhosis. After this, over time, it becomes what? Liver cancer. Okay, thrombosis, okay, like DVT, deep vein thrombosis. Even if you travel, fly long distance, let's say on a direct flight from Singapore to New York, right? A blood clot from your leg actually goes up to your brain, and you get a stroke or you get a heart attack, and so on and so forth. You just die there. Cardiac hypertrophy, obviously, obesity in the abdominal. Your triglycerides, okay, all the fatty cells, all that, or store all the fats in your cell just rises, okay. Frequent urination and all that. I know of friends who actually just said that last time. The adults, they have to wear adults diapers. Really, I mean, it was shy. They didn't review. They actually reviewed after they got better. After they actually changed their diet, it became better, and the problem, right? Then they mentioned, last time I was wearing adult diapers. Same. And okay, how can you tell if you are insulin resistant? Here are some of the telltale signs. Okay, always having headaches. Okay, sometimes this will lead to, but of course, having said that, headaches can also be sometimes, especially during these few days, right? If you're having headaches and all that because of fasting, right? After how you do, because sometimes you're short of electrolytes. Okay, so you can take a bit of salt, some certain soups that are recommended. Of course, a short amount, your 100 plus and whatnot. Those are to replenish your electrolytes. At least then your headache will stop. Okay, over this next few days, be careful. Know yourself. You know exactly how you feel, right? Fatigue always, right? They say that is an incurable disease, to many healthy people also, right? You always feel sleepy. You always feel tired. You must take a short nap, 40 winks after a meal, right? But if you can't work, you can't walk, you can't actually keep your eyes open after every single meal, chances are you're insulin resistant. All right, always craving for sugar, obviously having trouble losing weight. I mean, the waistline has been always there. That waistline has remained with you for the last 20 years, 15 years. A friend always joke, right? I go to the police station, I make a report, lost and found report. They said, what? I lost my waist, okay? Cannot find it anymore. High cholesterol, triglycerides, of course, hormonal imbalances, obviously, right? All this will happen, right? And guess what? Okay, now you walk into a fast food chain, right? Whether it's burger or donut, whatever. Usually, the very nice counter staff will ask you, "Sir, do you want to upsize?" All right, so you actually get more for a better price. Guess what? For the same price, if you are insulin resistant, chances are you also end up having as a package deal metabolic syndrome. Okay? You'll get this, and you'll get what kind? All sorts of hyper. Okay? What are the hypers after I show you, right? Look at all diseases. These are the top 10 diseases and caused by usually insulin resistance and as part of metabolic syndrome. Okay? Ischemic heart disease, all right? Your attacks, your strokes and all that, 16%, 11%. Obstructive pulmonary disease, again, all these are blockages. Lower respiratory infections, neonatal conditions, tracheal lungs, all that. Alzheimer, all right? All the plaques start forming in your brain. I mean, all our own Inchaway, of course, family knows, right? Luckily, you have already found Incha oil, omega-3, 6, 9. Otherwise, this could happen. Diarrhea, diabetes, and kidney disease, and so on and so forth. Kidney problems actually amount in our industry. A lot of some musicians and whatnot always has this kidney problem because of their long hours working, because sometimes they drink a lot or they don't rest well enough. They work from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. and so on and so forth. And they do not head home straight away. Still meet their friends and go for breakfast. And in no time at all, right? You have got disease problem with the kidney. Look at this, risk factor metabolic syndrome. Now, this is a package deal. Unfortunately, you don't even have the right option to choose to want it or not, to upsize or not. If you are insulin resistant, chances are all this will come along. All right? Look at this. Just I said metabolic syndrome. The 5, okay, all the hypers there. Okay? Hyperglycemic. Okay, this means your blood sugar is always high. Okay, all the GI, your GI, your glycemic index is very, very high. You do a blood test. Hypertension and high blood pressure. Okay, or fat cells hypertriglyceridemia. Okay, hyperinsulinemia. Again, too much insulin all the time, and of course, a very huge, large waistline. All right, this is a start, right? Once you get to an intermediate stage, you have fatty liver, you have diabetes, for sure, confirm, right? So you can be a pre-diabetic for a decade, and then suddenly you become a full-blown diabetic, okay? In the late, middle-age stage, when it lasts for 5-10 years, the heart, cerebrovascular, things like that, you got blockages, so you end up with, heart attacks, a stroke, so on and so forth, all right? Remember, those of you that actually have attended some of my previous talk or sharing on incha oil, I always showed you a particular report in Singapore, right? What they did, a study, okay, a health ministry study, they found that Singaporeans, if you've been relatively healthy all along, you may end up experiencing your very first cardiac episode, okay, which includes minor stroke, serious heart attack, and so on and so forth, around the age of 60. And this age, it's very funny, but it's actually earlier than what our American and European counterparts by at least 10 years, a decade, right? So you've been healthy all along, you've got no problems, you may encounter your very first cardiac episode at 60. And the Americans or Europeans, despite what they eat, their diet, their red meat and all that stuff, they actually can only expect it may only happen to them at 70. That's what they found in a study back in 2016 that was reported. All right. So what you want to do is simply this: is that you must find ways to control. If you have got too much insulin always in your body, okay, blood stream pumping up non-stop, right? This is actually very, very bad for you. Okay, very, very bad for you. You cannot have insulin all the time. So at one time, remember, there's sometimes some doctors or say dietitians they tell them, okay, eat a little but more meals a day, because at least you won't be a strain on your digestive system, on your digestion. 小吃多餐. Okay, that is a very, very bad advice. Then your body is non-stop trying to pump insulin. Okay, instead, what you should be doing is that now glucagon is only the other, right, a hormone, the peptide that can pull cells, right? While insulin is the item, the key that tells the cell to unlock itself to absorb glucose. Glucagon is the one that tells now stop, okay, because there's no more insulin right now. Please give me your fuel, pump it out, okay, from the cell. Now you're doing a withdrawal. If you're only depositing every day, you will feel very happy if it's a very huge fixed deposit. But you must use it. Otherwise, you end up with fat cells, you end up with not using it, you end up with insulin resistant. Okay? So you want to have a balanced state whereby you do not pump insulin throughout the day. That's going to be very, very bad. A lot of problem. So some of this is very, very simple, especially just look at chart array. If you've got insulin resistant, right? You've got metabolic syndrome and all that. You're always feeling tired, under the weather. Whatever it take, and then sometimes, even without going to the gym and all that, right? Sometimes we go to gym, we exercise a lot. Then lactic acid, right, builds up in your muscles and all that. But it's a good kind of pain. You say, wow, today actually I break, I tear my muscle a bit, then it grows back. So tomorrow, and after a week, after a month, after half a year, your muscles get much bigger. But when you have a syndrome like that, when you're insulin resistant, it's the same thing, you're just building up all this. You just feel exhausted all the time, unable to move. Okay? This is a very bad sign. Instead, what you want is that for the ability, you want to have still maintain, probably until the end of your days, the ability to extract back, right, all the energy, all the stored lipids from your fats. So that's a deposit. There must be, hopefully, a withdrawal. Okay? So those of us here that trying to do this like fasting with the objective of losing weight and all that, okay, some of you will, right? But not necessary. Some of the other benefits on top of instantly or straight away hoping to lose weight within this next 4 days or a week or two, right? It's also that your body will get healthier. And over time, you be able to at least get away or no longer still remain insulin resistant. You deposit while you're feeding, and you do withdrawal when you're not feeding. Okay? So what we're doing is that even with any kind of fasting, like fasting or 18-6, 72, we want to do a lot more withdrawals over the next few days. Okay? I'll go into some other thing. It's not simply just getting the fuel, getting the fats out from your cells. something that's very happening, as the social influencers would say it. And because it actually was brought to your attention in 2016, but the research actually went back quite a few decades ago. So exactly what it is like fasting, okay? Like fasting is becoming very, very popular because it's just the ability to do light energy restriction. Okay, it's also a eating pattern that cycles between voluntary fasting and non-fasting over a given period. Okay, so that period is important. Just like say, you can do your 18, 6, 72. Some people does 16, 8. Of course, some hardcore, they want to try, hey, since I have all these numbers ratios, why don't you do a 23, 1? You know, you only feed once a day within that 1 hour. You fast for 24 hours. Then you have got EODF, right? Every other day fasting, which was actually presented, the findings were presented yesterday, right, by the University of Sydney. So take a look at that, so on and so forth. But it came in the year 2012. BBC actually did a very nice documentary, right, based on the experience of a journalist and a physician, and they round up about 600 people, okay, who practice light fasting. So they film it over a time. So it's called Eat Fast and Live Longer. So since then, it's become extremely popular because that particular documentary got a very high ratings. So it just spread, throughout Europe and all the way to US. That's why you have got all the Hollywood people, all the film stars, all the who's that's doing all this. This is a second part, right? Then of course you have people doing different kind of diets, right? Your ketones only, so you've got a ketonic diet, keto, or in short you call it keto diet or whatever. So depending on what, but indeed they actually would help a lot of people with different kind of conditions, okay, body conditions. So next we're going to talk about something called autophagy, okay. Look at this symbol. Actually, this is actually illustrated by the Nobel organization. They drew it. Inspiration came from the Chinese side. They see actually we have a dragon, as in, of course, you have the Western dragons and the Chinese dragon. A dragon swallowing the dragon eating itself. Okay, so autophagy exactly means self-eating. Okay, if you're a dialect speaker, jiakaki. So jiakaki may not be all that bad. Okay, you do have to want to eat yourself sometimes, or probably, hopefully, more often, okay, than you think you need. So what exactly autophagy and when was it discovered? All right. Now, autophagy was finally proven. The autophagy, the mechanism of autophagy, was finally proven by this Dr. Yoshinori Osumi. Right? He's a professor. He's a professor at the Tokyo Institute of Technology. Right? So he was finally presented a Nobel Prize in 2016. But the research didn't happen in the 2000s. He was doing in his own small way, back in the 90s. Okay, back in 90s, he was actually just expanding on some theory. Now, back in the 60s, already people were speculating. Some scientists were able to observe, let's say, from yeast organism. Okay, why yeast is that? It's a very simple single cell, okay, organism, and used to study. And sometimes you study whatever happens in yeast, you can actually apply to the more complex human cell. Right? Back in the 60s, already scientists speculated that, hey, within every one of our cell, I think there is a rubbish center. Okay? There is a place, a little room in our cell that's used for disposal of all our bad things or the broken down stuff, all the things that's not working in our cells. So it goes into that room. But thereafter, nobody were able to prove anything because, of course, technology, nor probably the ability to see, the availability of microscopes, going down to even electron microscopes and so on and so forth. Until in the 90s, this Dr. Osumi, Professor Osumi, finally, basically what he did is devised a very clever method. He said that, look, he studied a cell and he used the baker's yeast as his basis for study. And he noticed that there's really that lysosome, there's that room in the cell that used to store things. But what he went on to find is that, look, he suspected that the cell, that is not just a rubbish center, okay? What he ended up confirming is that it's not just a rubbish center, it's a whole recycling plant. It's a whole recycling factory. All right? And he proved it. I think he did 1,500, that means 1,005 different mutations of Baker's yeast. And at the end of the day, he actually discovered and confirmed there's like 15 different enzymes that's inside each cell used to break down, let's say broken protein parts, huge proteins, those part of the cells that's already damaged. Those that's damaged, you just destroy, use as fuel, energy. Those parts that can cannibalize, like spare parts, they actually can be recycled, okay? Cannibalized for spare parts to produce new cells, new components. So he proved it in the 90s, and finally he was awarded the Nobel Prize in 2016. And of course, since then, a lot of people also then studied, and this something called autophagy. So autophagy, along with fasting, all that, now the two comes together, makes a lot of sense, right? If you have been feeding, you're pumping yourself with insulin either naturally or artificially by injecting yourself throughout the day, you're not going to get a lot of autophagy. I mean, the engine doesn't kick off. As long as there's insulin activity in body, autophagy, the self-eating will not start. The cleansing will not start, right? The rebuilding will not start. The recycling will not start. Autophagy, one of the best way to trigger autophagy is through fasting. Then you end up with cellular renewal, cellular recycling, right? And one of the secondary advantage of all that, now you can actually withdraw and use up all the fat cells, right, from the deposits. Don't just store. Over time, your insulin resistance would also drop, and then you're again back to normal. You no longer need to we're saying take in artificial addition of enhancement of insulin into your body. So some of this that the raw autophagy, of course, the thing is that, right, heart cells can break down damaged organelles and all that. So through autophagy and obtain energy, this is one way. So to avoid the damage of reactive oxygen species due to destruction of all this, you eliminate old protein, maintain stability of the heart cell's environment. So it's very good for heart, right? Cardiovascular improvement straight away. And this is through fasting, right? Fasting triggers autophagy, build, recycle stuff. Now, starvation and other type of stress, like by recycling, decomposing cell components, it quickly provides energy and renews cells tissue to cope with threats, okay? So what happens is this. The thing, and your cell is very smart, the autophagy. It will only first go, you start eating yourself, you go for those stuff that your body does not require to survive first. It will not damage your body, right? It will actually protect you. Go for what's bad, that's broken down, that's fat, that can be recycled, that to produce energy for you and to build other new cells, new parts. It is also the fighter. Right? This is something that wasn't factually known before all the time, is that it can also destroy infected cells. So bacteria and viruses infection, okay, can be destroyed, eliminated through autophagy. All right? Embryonic formation, that means what's sometimes known as embryonic genesis, or this new fetus and all that comes with the help of autophagy. Obviously, autophagy, if it's overdone and all that, is out of control, just like our immune system. If your immune system is out of control, it attacks your own healthy cells. It's called autoimmune, right? So again, autophagy, if it's totally out of control, of course, it may also lead to things like cancer, okay? Neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's and all that, okay, may be related to the dysregulation of autophagy. But if it's a regular, healthy autophagy, in fact, you'll help prevent things like your dementia, your Alzheimer's, and so on and so forth. Okay, so know that. So why you are fasting? When we're hungry and there's no food to eat, our bodies will have to eat ourselves. Jiakaki, eat ourselves. Autophagy, all right? Self-eating. So how do you eat yourself? Okay, first, I mentioned earlier just now, right? Your body will pick the unimportant parts to eat first. Very smart, clever, protect itself, all right? Protect you. Do not want to do any damage to your body. And keep all the life-related ones without eating, okay? They won't touch those first. For example, the excess fat is eaten first, right? Excess fat, fuel. So you all know, for example, some of you may or may not know, right? How does our body produce fuel, produce energy? There's usually 3 different sources, okay? The most common and straightforward, sometimes most people would think that, this is most convenient and of course easiest for all, is sugar. Okay, you take in sugar, you take in high starch items, okay, that becomes a glucose, taking glucose, produce sugar. But actually that's bad, okay? That's not the most healthy thing. Your body may also use protein, okay, to convert to energy. But what it's probably loved most is of fat. Conversion of fat, okay, into energy. That's the best. That's what your body likes most. And it's whereby renewal happen at its max. Okay? So the phlegm is eaten first, the tumors are eaten first. So it becomes more healthy. Okay, so on and so forth. So cell biology also discovered that autophagy can protect against viruses and bacteria, right? So while we are having an epidemic or you're having your flus, your common colds and all that, autophagy, instead of being fully filled, or fat all the time, all right, fully fed, or simply just pumping insulin throughout the day, as long as there are times whereby you do not eat, as long as there are times whereby you can control and starve yourself to a certain extent, like what we're going to do over this next few days, right? Autophagy kicks in. In fact, then you get all this bad stuff eliminated. Okay, it will help as part of the process. Look at that. So again, autophagy, I talk about that room, I talk about the recycling plant, that factory in each one of the cell. Very smart. No matter how big, how giant, okay, the bad stuff is, autophagy during this process know how to enclose the whole thing like a cocoon, right? Well, you just bind up whole thing, just like a little silkworm, cocoon itself, and pull it into that factory to be broken down by, some of the 15 enzymes that Professor Ozumi identified. Break it down, recycle it, reuse it, convert it to energy for you, for your own use, and then expel it. Then you get a very clean. Now, and over this time of renewal, autophagy, you actually feel very clear-headedness. Okay? Of course, there are some symptoms. Afterwards, I'll actually go through, make sure that everybody, if you feel any discomfort, you must know, you must actually observe and monitor yourself. But otherwise, you'll probably come through at the end of it feeling healthy, feeling fitter, and feeling very clear-headed. Okay? That's one of the side benefit or secondary. For some people, they hope that that's their primary, especially people that may be already suffering from early stage of Alzheimer's, or dementia. So this is a 2012 study on mice. Researchers found that autophagy protected against cancer, neurodegenerative disorders, infections, inflammatory disease, aging, and insulin resistance. Okay, wonderful stuff. So again, how you fast, how often you fast, what's your break and interval like, does matter right now. Again, they did more studies on mice, over the years. So again, autophagy, these are all things, right? If you don't have proper autophagy, right, you get all sorts of problems, right? Cell death, cancer, innate immune system, type 2 diabetes, most of the time vis-a-vis fatty liver, infectious, of course, aging, okay? And sometimes to many people also premature aging. Right? So you end up autophagy, you store, right? All the lipids are, your cells are already fat, all bloated. So it can only overflow. No matter how much insulin you try to pump in, you try to release, the cell is not gonna be able to take in anymore, okay, of your glucose, and just simply pump up, throw out all these fat cells, right? And then it can just break down. It cannot provide breakdown. There's no energy, right? Only if you can actually have all this, a proper functioning, healthy cell, then you would actually have proper storage of things and utilization of all your stored fats or your stored lipids that can then be burned away to produce energy for you. This is what we are all working towards. Okay, obesity problem, right? This is where over time, okay, it always happens with the fats in the liver, and you end up having fatty liver because of all the fat cells, right? And you look at this is how the fat cell look. The one on the left, this is what some of us probably would already be having, and could be for years now. What you want to do is, over this spike, in spite of whatever the time level, whatever fasting you can do, let's say after the 18-6-72 light fasting that we're going to do over this next few days, some of your cells right now will start to shrink in size because the fact that you stop eating, the fact that you stop producing insulin, your cell should be able to extract glucagon goes up. It's actually telling the cell now, release all those lipids to produce the energy. Okay? Your cell will start to use those, and of course through autophagy, to produce energy. You want to start burning away all the strength. So over time, healthily, through light fasting, different kind of fasting, you can just reduce all those fat cells. Okay? So light fasting purpose, very simply, on the left, on the right. You want to reduce, minus out all the calories, toxin, fat, discomfort, and of clogging up of all your vessels, whatever. And at the same time, okay, simultaneously, you want to add nutrition, metabolism, increase metabolism, does a lot of repair, self-repair, recycling, okay, build up your body defense, and overall, you feel more vitality. Obviously, okay, you're going to feel quite nice if you're able to do it. Do not cheat. That's why I say, hopefully you do not cheat yourself over this next few days. And how many days does it take to perform 18-6-72? This is exactly what Inchaway came up with, this scheme of things. So you actually have got 18 hours of very light fasting. Okay, why 18-hour light fasting? Because you still eat every 6 hours. We're not telling you that, hey, you want fasting, you fast, right? Nothing goes into your mouth, right? No, it's light fasting. We give you trainer wheels. Get your body equipped, get your body accustomed. Then you can actually go into more enhanced, methods of fasting. But even if you are just limiting yourself to light fasting for the foreseeable future, it will do you a lot of good, a lot of healthy good. Okay, so what's 18? 18 is 18 days of light fasting. So you only eat every 6 hours, right? We recommend you please set your alarm clock, right, on your wrist or at your bedside. 8 a.m. you're gonna have your first meal, okay, which are basically some of the superfoods. At 2 p.m. and then at 8 p.m. you do not eat anymore after that last meal at 8 p.m. Just go to bed, okay? You sleep, you have your good rest, and you start again for the next morning at 8 a.m. Okay, and overall we're gonna do this for 4 days, and of course 3 times 18, that's 72 hours. So that's our 18-6-72 light fasting over 4 days. Okay. Now the following categories, of course, I think by now that those of you who have already signed up would have already been advised. So if you are not some of those seriously ill, cancer patients, whatnot, but some of you here today that actually just joined us to listen into this, right? Just go through that list there. Okay, if you want to, like say, you can do a screenshot, see what are the symptoms. If you are any of those, right, then you're not recommended to be doing light fasting yourself or any form of fasting. Other than that, the rest of us fairly healthy ones do this. You may then after this, just 12 days from pre to during to post, you may want to choose from then on here on to do it once a month, or once every fortnight, or whatever that may be. Okay, it will help you. You feel a lot more healthier. Okay, the important thing is that your mind clears up. You feel a lot of you're filled with vitality. That's the important thing. So this is what you do over time. And okay, first start off. This one already after I share with you, right? It's amazing. So we are now into our third. We finished our third day, right? From second, it's Tuesday, Wednesday. Right now it's Thursday. You've already done. You're done for the first 3 days already. There's still one more, okay, pre-fasting period. That's tomorrow, Friday. That's it. TGIF, your last day to prep yourself. Okay, so these are the things that you eat. Generally, we tell everybody, and I'm looking at by the look of the pictures that's being sent back to our chat groups. You are doing a wonderful job. Okay, a wonderful job. And for those of you that's not clued in as to what's happening after, I'm going to share you. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly their posting. Okay, what they actually send back to us. Lovely food. Okay, of course, but there are some people that actually still take their normal. They may take less, but they are still taking the usual stuff. Okay, so this is it. So again, I actually showed this picture, but at 8 a.m., That's why. So one packet of, if you can, right? These are the things you must have. I know for sure if you have registered for light fasting, you would have been given a box, 12 sachets of the Cell Pro. So you would have enough Cell Pro there. The rest, you just draw from your own supplies. So I understand in the last few days, a lot of people actually went down to the office to actually purchase extra. So this is where some of this comes from, right? So if you actually have got additional Incha oil, balance, so you're buying things like the Incha well and the Incha gut, okay? So at 8 a.m. in the morning, instead of your usual coffee and tea, cereals and there's bread and sandwiches or roti prata, right? Roti chennai as in Malaysia, you would only take this, okay? Do not cheat, huh? So one sachet of Cell Pro, okay? I've got 2 sachets of lipids, fats, which is our omega 3, 6, 7, and 9, right? Incha gut and the men's Incha well, okay? This applies to both men and lady, okay? Men's Incha well. Now, the men's Incha well can be taken by ladies and men, okay? But we do not recommend that the men take the ladies' Incha well, okay? Ladies, because of the special formulation, right? We'll only have ladies should take just the ladies' Incha well. So at 2 p.m., guys, go back to your original blue packet of Incha well along with Cell Pro, balance, or Incha well, Incha oil if you don't have balance, and Incha gut. Okay, same thing, less and less. I find it's on a downward scale, reduction. By the time you hit 8 p.m., just another packet of Cell Pro, Incha oil, and Incha gut. Okay, this give it. You notice that Cell Pro plays a very important role here. You already know, most of you already know, so Cell Pro, other than the provisions of all nutrients, for your cells, right? It's cellular food, right? It also helps detoxify your body, right? There's also all the amino acids, the proteins. So with Cell Pro, you're not only doing just, cleansing through autophagy, you're also helping, your body to cleanse and detox itself over this period, right? So like say, try to, from the time your alarm bell rings at, let's say 7:45, you get up, brush your teeth, wash your face, okay? Sit down at a table or you can pack it right and start going through, okay? Your first sachets of Cell Pro, your oil, your Incha well, your Incha gut, okay? So and so forth, and you continue. Now, Perry did mention, right, I think during his talk on Facebook Live that if you really cannot, to one for a better word, tahan, you can't make it, you feel that your body is not functioning properly and all that. If you need to cheat a bit, although I discourage, but if you need to cheat a bit, only cheat at the 2 o'clock period. After that, that's it. Take a bit more other stuff that, if you, especially the first 2-3 days, very tough. I guess by now you're already over the slope. Okay, you're very over the top of the mountain. The rest is all the way down. No problem. It's getting tight. If you need to cheat, just around 2. Do not cheat at night. Okay, don't wake up in the middle of the night feeling hungry, not being able to go back to sleep. Then go and raid your refrigerator for whatever leftover food you have. Okay, do not do that. As long as you are one of the healthy ones, right? Please try to stick with this, or else then you're wasting. You're wasting the effect. You're wasting the ability or the opportunity to restart, to turn on that autophagy engine, which is very key here. Yeah, you want to feel better. Okay, like say that same calendar, first 3 days already out of the way. Yeah, so Saturday, 6th of March, start on that. Okay, and then after that, when it comes to 10th, right? So it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, next Wednesday. Again, you start slowly refeeding yourself again. Okay, after that, you probably can come and share with us, and we'll be judging over time. That's why we want you to send in all your pictures and whatnot. Okay, now what you're going to do during that refeeding period? This is very important. Take it easy. Okay, because after some even although it's light fasting, you have already fasted. Okay, you definitely cannot go back to before you fasted, before you pre-fast, day 1. Okay. So you want to reduce your food portion again. Again, same thing, exactly as you did on the first day of slowing down, okay, preparing for fasting. Portions must go down, smaller portions. Avoid all the fried, pan, fatty, oily stuff, smoked stuff, okay? Spicy food, those that irritates our digestive system, just cut down. Less bad oil, of course, less sugar, less salt. You can to still must take salt, but not just less. If you can avoid sugar, better still, all the way cut. Okay, when it comes to sometimes we say our diet, 少盐少油少糖, right? Less oil, less sugar. Less salt, less sugar. One thing that if you are able to do without totally less sugar or no sugar, if you can do it, that's going to be very healthy for you. And avoid eating after 10 p.m. This is after your fasting period, refeeding day 1. So if you vomit or have abdominal discomfort, that's why the intra-gut is going to help you there. We have probiotics. So we have all the superfoods standing by to aid you along the way. But then if you're vomiting and you got, very discomfort, abdominal discomfiture and all that, pause. Okay? You can stop your fasting. Like say, you must monitor your own body. You know yourself best. If you just don't feel up to it, stop. Okay? There's no reason why you must force yourself to go through it if your body is not able to take it. So the moment you feel totally uncomfortable and for some time it's abdominal discomfort, stop. You can also drink, like say suggested, is millet porridge, just to warm up, our stomach a bit, right? If you have a stomach upset, you can drink red bean lotus soup or some seaweed ginger soup. Okay, those are things that is suggested. If you are feeling dizzy a bit, mild dizziness, if you're severe, like say stop. Okay, that's the point where I say no. For this time, I have to give it up. I'll leave to fight another day. We'll come back one more time, probably the next one, right? 15 grams of black rice, red beans. So this congee soup, or brown sugar ginger soup. Okay, you fight ginger, always factor. Especially same thing with all our intrawear and all that, curcumin, right? Ginger all comes into play in the whole formulation. Okay, last but not least, let's look at this again. Monitor this. If you don't have a picture of this, please take a snapshot. Okay, please take a snapshot of this thing. On the first day, now we're past third day already, a bit too late. But on the first day, if you feel very hungry and have a strong desire to eat, you do. Okay, especially feel discomfort. If you survive your first day, your hunger would already decrease. I'm sure that by now, the third day, after the end of third day, your hunger pangs has been far and in between. Okay, far in between, very infrequent. Okay, those who are doing the same for the first time will feel maybe dizziness and headache. These are okay. These are to be expected. Okay, every one of you, including all the so-called healthy ones, right? There may be some physical weakness because, the thing is that now you're suddenly short. The blood sugar may be a bit on the low side, but autophagy may not have kicked in. So the energy has not been re-released from the cells, from all the fatty cells. So you will feel a bit weak, a bit tired. It's okay. Okay. Pain and itching may appear around the body. Same thing. This is cellular reaction, right? Bad breath, you just gargle a bit more with mouthwash and brush a bit more teeth, especially in the morning and 2-3 times. Probably not only just at night before you sleep, you gargle with mouthwash. During that, after 3 meals, gargle. Okay? Meat lover whose blood tends to be acidic will have constipation. Okay? Because your digestive system has all along been attuned to your meat lover diet. Okay, so you'll probably suffer some constipation. Those with greasy scalp, oily scalps, may have some little more hair dropping down. All right, not bald patches, just more hair. As you wash your hair, you find that on the bathroom floor there's a few more strands. Okay, and tell those people around you, mind you please. I have to say sorry first, because for the next few days I'm fasting, so my mood will swing. Okay, my mood, I may be in a more bad mood more often than you expected. Okay, so please say sorry, but just tell them that because you are fasting, so they'll know what to do. Okay, they'll try to avoid you, or they'll try to cheer you up a bit more, right? But on the 5th day, look at the right comforts. You will definitely start to feel your body becomes lighter, obviously, right? You've been doing more withdrawals, not just feed, right? Until you get bloated cells, right? Your body weight would have improved. Should have improved. You weigh yourself every day, right? Those of you who have got that scale, right, with BMI, with all the measurements, right, track your weight every day. Okay, the best is right after a shower or in the evening or the first thing in the morning. Just weigh yourself and record all that. Okay, again, like say as part of a competition, right? You can submit all these statistics to us, right? Various physical health indicator would have improved. Okay, you probably also slept better. All right, towards the end there. Mind very sharp, very clear. That's why there's a lot of practitioners of fastness. They actually sit, they fast, they meditate. So people who does a lot of meditation actually fast. Okay, because their mind becomes clear. They're not sitting there falling asleep, so tired they fell asleep. Their mind is clear. They are just sitting there, meditating, for example. So that's one help. Your digestion, your digestive system will actually improve. Okay, so after the initial period of probably constipation, thereafter you actually get smoother. Okay, skin color. Okay, angea, it's all in dialect. Okay, gets actually improved, so on and so forth. All right. Okay, so with this, I think right now what I'm gonna do, just give me a bit of a moment. I'm gonna kick over to show you share with you some what our members have been doing. Let me set it up first. I'm going to open up that chat group. I love those pictures. I say some of you are photographers, right? I used to judge some photography competition, all right? And the ones I'm looking at, those are, ooh la la. But more important thing is the content. So let me just bring it up. I'm going to bring my handphone up. Okay, you see this? Okay, let's start with group. Okay, there's two groups, right? I start with group A first. Group A, a bit different, less, but still very nice. They start off very well. Okay, let's take a look at this. I show you. Okay, some from head one. Take a look at this. Okay, from day one. Okay, they started off doing this, Bihong, this is nice. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, that's one. Yeah, they're doing exactly that, what we actually told them to do from 8 a.m. in the morning. They actually listed. So do continue to do that, right? List your name, the time it took. Again, day one, all those as according to share. That means this person already started. Okay, started. This is not pre-fasting. This is exactly the fasting diet. So from pre-fasting period, Biao Guat, and this is probably she's already gone with the fasting diet. That's it. What's that? Let me take a look at it. Wow. What is that? Is it chicken wings? Small chicken wing. Interesting. Okay, wait. Oh, okay, yeah. I'll see it. Carbo. Right? Fan Xu. Fan Xu with egg. So right, you got carbo. This is okay. Unprocessed. Carbo and protein. Good for you. Oh, there you are. Soup. Okay. This is soup. That's nice. Okay, again, of course, our superfoods. Look at that. Okay, 1 p.m. This is lunch. Okay, this is what? Charlene. Well done, Charlene. This looks delicious. And definitely this is fairly filling. Okay, but we all like stuff. Let's see. Okay. Again, next day, 9 a.m., so on and so forth. Of course, our questions come in. This is pre-cooked. This one is before steaming, pre-cooked. Oh, okay. Not bad, not bad. Okay, that a bit of bread, still a bit of bread, probably wholemeal, and cereal and bananas. Okay, careful, those phosphorus, potassium, sugar is still a bit high, Okay, apple. Now, apple is good. Apple is good for you. Oh, okay, veggie. I see the tofu, Okay, good. A lot of fiber. Prawns. There's still prawns there. I think you cut at least a couple. Someone is weighing already. Okay, that's all salad. Good for you. A lot of eggs, tomato. Oh, this one, okay. Let's see, lunch, 12:30. Whoa. So how did you had that fish done? Fried or steam or sambal or what? Okay, that's good. This one is nice. This one is right. Yeah, this is exactly, what you should be doing. Some of that. Let's see. Apple, good for you. Wow. Oh, this one learns attended some cooking class one. I must sprinkle the right thing, right? Presentation is all important, right? 色香味俱全 ah. Okay. Must be a healthy drink. This one you don't use shaker one, you stir. Okay. All right, there. Same. Look at this. Dinner. Oh, so dinner is just, okay, that's good. Lean, huh? Very lean. Some, I think that's egg, right? Looks like scrambled egg to me. Okay, veggies, broccoli. Good. Your shaker. Again. This is dinner. Not bad. Dinner at 6:30. Okay. But way before 8 p.m. you would have already been done and not eating some more. Okay, let's say, oh, like this is the video ABC soup. Nice. ABC soup. Okay, this is more run-of-the-mill. All right, but at least you cut, hopefully in portion. Now that thing has, what fruit juice is that again? Okay, you probably want to control, avoid those with very high sugar content. Okay, this was taking picture. Of course, you're showing off your chart on your app. Good for you. 7, 8 a.m. Those are staff only. Lunch 1 p.m. Oh, egg. That's a fruit and the kacang putih. Very good. Okay, very nice. Green smoothie at 7:15 p.m. and you're done, right? By 8 p.m. Not 10 p.m. By 8 p.m. you're all done. Same thing here. Good. This is very strict. So the prep you're doing very well. Okay, prep drink very well. Okay, some nuts there, good. And just a shaken drink. Ooh, what's this? Meat. Okay, but at least probably lean meat a bit. That skin there can done. Oh, this is a sandwich, so it's a omelette, fried egg, right? With a piece of salad. Okay, greens. All right, fiber. You have got protein. You have got carbo. Okay, and so on and so forth. Let's look this. Nice. Okay. Good. All right, drink. Some of them actually ask in the chat whether you can actually take their coffee and all that, right? There have been some studies that sometimes actually caffeine does help to a certain extent autophagy, certain cases, but then your coffee should not have any of the sugar and all that. Must be really kosong, and not too thick, right? Okay, if you have to. But if you can, right, just follow our diet as prescribed like the rest of us. Okay, don't have to rely, because you need that rush. Without the coffee, you won't wake up. What you want to do is also to cleanse yourself, right? To really wean yourself from the need to having to drink your first cup of coffee before you are totally awake and start to work, right? After this fasting period, you no longer need that coffee. You can have coffee midday or any other time. Okay, look at that. Well, nice. Actually, some of you actually picked up nice video. Did yourself. That's good. This is at 12 p.m., 12 noon. Okay, so again, depending on what time, right? This is the prep period, so it's correct, right? The timing is okay. Once we come into Saturday period, right? You want to maintain that 6 hour. Let's now go to the B2, right? That 6 hourly interval, that's important, okay? You do that 6 hour thing. You don't do a 8 a.m. and then 12 noon, you just do one, and it just next one you do at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Okay, try to maintain that thing. Okay, like say so you are, it's well presented. This is what it take. Cool. This one came from Malaysia, right? Okay. This one presented with a potted plant there. Okay. Wow. Cool. Yeah, look at that. All right, some of you in the other group did the same thing. Okay, nice fruits, tomatoes. Oh, 丰富eh. Carrot, corn, prawns. Okay, of course. Well, look at that, the purple. Again, once you have different colors, more colorful, the better it is. True. Okay, all this are prepping up. I'm sure all this that some of you are prepared. You're definitely not feeling any hunger. You're just substituting. You're just going for more healthy food, right? Bitter gourd, 苦瓜汤啊 okay, 杞子枸杞子啊 good stuff, good stuff. Okay, oh, this one, okay. Kway tiao teng, so depend what's inside there, right? This is carbo, kway tiao is actually one of the processed carbo, processed food, Oh, this one is like pre-cooked. Wow, okay. It's though, then just simple boil. Okay, 水煮, very good. Well, this is a very sumptuous meal. I mean, you're definitely not feeling hungry at all. Oh, okay. What's that? Okay, like a prune thing, right? Nuts, nice. Okay, so you have got different oils, fatty acids. Okay, monosaturated, polysaturated, or unsaturated rather. Wow. Tauhu, Tauhu, mushroom. Okay, those of you who is now in the audience, you can actually just also submit. Remember, if you have not done it, oh, look at that. Look at that. All right. Once your actual fasting start, right, cut those below, only above this line. Okay. Oh, same. Look. Okay, nice. Okay. Rice, not refined, not polished rice. Again, the good. Always like this kacang putih. This is the last of the kacang putih. From the kacang putih man, we always buy this kind of kacang putih. Corn. Okay, cool. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, this one. Yeah. Everyone is doing, okay, following along, doing their homework. Wow, look at this. What's this? Just fried egg. Again, okay, just go easy on the oil. But anyway, you have only one more day to go. One more day to prep up. Okay, this is okay, good meal, all fruits. Okay, but again, careful. Sometimes you also try to reduce amount of sugar. Oranges actually not so bad. You probably do not want to gobble, too much watermelon and all that, which is very high in sugar content. Lean meat. You can actually just read yourself this fish, right? If other meat, that's all right. Okay, for fishes, all the omega actually in the skin. Oh, very likely stir fried. Carol probably can recognize more of this than I do, because Carol cooks. Let's see this soup. Okay, well, that's simple enough. At least a portion, good for you. You see, rice portion has been dramatically cut, I reckon. And just that little bit of soup, just a packet of oil. Okay, this was starters. Hopefully, when Saturday come along, you actually just Polian. Polian, you're doing this correct. Polian already started. 4-3. So that's today, this morning at 8 a.m. Okay, well done, well done. And at 午餐, okay, this is what you ate. Okay. 晚餐? This is 晚餐, 8 p.m. is it? Okay, all right. Well, fruits 糖分可以减少，就再减多一点。Okay, 尽量减糖分。Okay, 现在你了解了没有？ like 胰岛素insulin. Once we become insulin resistant, 胰岛素阻抗就要一定要减掉糖分。Okay, 除了这 okay, noodles. Yeah, very healthy. Okay, this is 酿豆腐, right? Okay, chilled, nicely presented. Okay, like I say, some of you guys are really good photographers, At least put it nicely shot. But that doesn't mean people will just simply take their food shot and we don't consider you, We're not going for beauty, We're going for the content, Okay, if you're doing a lot of unhealthy stuff, it's a different thing. Okay, well, with that, let's go back to everyone. I think last one that day when I actually sat through the presentation by Chu Pei, there were also a lot of questions. Okay, now it's time. The time is almost 9:40. Come on and share with us that we really, Carol, we do have back to the 70 people again. Okay, the 70 people, right? Come share with us what you've been doing this next few days or this last few days, and would you be able to really adhere. Some of you already do because you've already started on that fasting regime, okay, on those recommended diet. The rest of you will have to strictly start on Saturday, okay? So Vivian, we can get that. Whoever has asked something, just raise your hand. Click the thing to raise your hand and turn on your video if you want to. Lovely, lovely. Okay, this is a clap for you. Well done. We'll continue to collect all this every day. But here only we have got, of course, Singapore from my side. We only have A to B to lah. Okay, I'm sure because of the thousands of you out there. Okay, some of you will not have sent or sent to a different team. Come on. Well done, well done. Any questions? Let me bring up. Any chat questions? I now must load up my chat on the site.
Okay. You able to see the chat box?
Yes, I am. Okay, I can.
Good.
No, is this time better? The slides.
It's good. Very good.
Okay. But it's still restricted. Can you say? I still realize that my iPad cannot pinch. That means Zoom has still restricted. It didn't allow the maximum resolution across.
But I can zoom from my phone.
Oh, you can pinch from your phone, is it? Okay. For my iPad, it didn't allow me to pinch. It means it's probably at the maximum resolution on iPad.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh, pleasure. Thanks. Thank you, Siung. We'll try to, as long as we can keep up this 70-old people for English. If there's only, 十几只小猫, then we cannot do so many English already. Let's see. Come on, any questions you ask? I'm only looking nothing. Is bihun? Of course, yeah. Kway teow, bihun, noodle, okay, su mian, whatever, all those are processed. The only non-processed I'm talking about, the Chongsen Dao, right? The Okinawa, those people, they dig up from the ground, scrub, wash it, cut open, cook, boil, eat. That's not processed, right? That will be the pure carbo. Anything that's gone through a factory, etching, they process, they add coloring to it, right? They actually probably add some preservatives so that the noodle actually lasts a bit longer without refrigeration. All that is time. The bihun, even a dried bihun, right? The one of our friends we actually came by. That guy was the owner of La Jiao Pai bihun, the chili brand, all processed. Okay, you need to soak it. So your instant, of course, obviously, instant noodle, you don't have to talk, right? It's all the wax and whatnot. So the only thing that is unprocessed is far and few, rare. Okay, the moment you step inside a fast food chain, the moment you step into a restaurant, okay, you're not preparing yourself, we are eating processed food. Okay, unfortunately. But like say, I think again, this few days you see a e-poster coming out, right? Always saying, as long as you're healthy, right? As long as at least you must be healthy, then you still have, right? You still have the ability to eat some consistent unhealthy food. Okay? 你要有一个健康的身体才有本钱去吃不健康的食物嘛。But not every day, 不要每天去吃啊。Let's say a lady of 55 years old, weigh 52, okay. 16, what's that? 52, 162 kilo. Oh, 1.6, I think that you're talking about height, is it? 1.6, not kilo lah. It's probably meters, right? Or 162 cm lah, right? Wanna take part? Okay, why not? This is okay. Although this height is all right. Yeah, this is actually a fairly. This is BMI is actually quite. It's very healthy. It's okay. Take part. Okay, like fasting, any fasting. Fasting is not simply just to lose weight. Fasting is not only for people with a big waistline. Fasting is not only for pot belly. Fasting is not only for diabetic. Fasting is for everyone. You want to be healthy, you want to remain healthy, fast once in a while. Okay? And what better way to do the lightweight version, right? This is not the hardcore fasting. This is the very simple, easy, like say, fasting with training wheels. Okay? And it's not very demanding on your body. But like I say, see, the thing is autophagy easily switches off. The moment the body detects there's insulin coming, autophagy stops. Right? So, 偷吃, you cheat, autophagy stops. If you can just maintain, sustain a bit longer, according to each one of your own physiology, your own body condition. Like say, do not force yourself. You're not ready for it this time. Save it for next time. It's perfectly all right. I mean, you're not a loser. Okay, we just do it another time until you're healthier, or simply you recently had a cold, you battled with flu, even if it's not COVID, then do it the next time, another time. Now that you have gone through this, one of the facts is that it's very simple, right? All the data has been provided, so you can start anytime. This few days, if you decide, everyone else start on the 5th, right? Or the 6th, you start next week. On the 10th, you start on your pre-fasting. That could be it. You just follow the regime. Important thing is that 4 days, that 72 hours of eating, 6 hours, and then stopping until the next morning again. Okay, that is the key to it. And you have to do it over that 4 days period. That is very key. And then slowly bring yourself up, ramp up your feeding again. If hungry at 10 p.m. can take okay, no, oil is still all right. Okay, oil is still all right. See, at least oil doesn't turn off autophagy. Okay, oil will not turn off autophagy, right? But sometimes even protein. Okay, autophagy, like say, is very sensitive. Not just insulin. Okay, sometimes what I say is that even mTOR, MTOR, sometimes it has to do with protein. Autophagy may also just slow down or switch off when it detects all this food intake. Okay, so these are things. But you need the time, you need autophagy, your leptin kicks in. You need a good balance between the time period whereby you have insulin and you have glucagon. So this is the balance. Okay, better is that, of course, much less time insulin. If you can read your body over these few days, of needing to use too much insulin, then your withdrawal will be higher. You'll be able to withdraw more fats from the cell. All right. The first layer, the top layer around waist may not go away first, but even those that you can't see, those very bad fats around your organs, they will start going away. They will start shrinking down. Okay, you'll help. Your liver definitely will be more healthier for the lack of, more all the fat cells. And Cell Pro will help also detoxify your liver. So it all comes together, right? But you need to do your part to fast. The fasting part you must sustain, maintain. For those of us who can do it, do not cheat. Try not to cheat. But Perry already given you a disclaimer in between. If you need to cheat at that 2 o'clock session. I say again, why waste the opportunity if you can sustain, right? We gave you 4 days to get accustomed to it. So over the next 4 days, try not to cheat at all. Okay? This last 4 days, you've been cheating fine. You've been cheating okay. Come Saturday morning from 8 a.m. onwards, do not cheat. Right? Go through after 8 p.m., no more meal. After 10, so you can spend casual over TV from 8 p.m. to before 10 p.m. finish your meal for dinner. Okay? Today is my 3rd day, very fresh and happy. Congrats. Okay, that's Susan. Seminar. During fast, I understand we only take the scheduled interval sachet. No. Yes. Okay? Exactly those few items there, nothing else. If too hungry at 8 p.m. can eat steam. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess so. A bit lah. Portion is also important. Okay? Because, okay, you're fasting. You're trying to keep your body from ever producing non-stop production of insulin. All right? If those of you that have the objective of losing weight, other things also matter. Things like calories in, calories out matter. Every single additional food in, you're adding more calories to your body. Okay? Hopefully is that you do not contribute to, disrupting the extraction. Okay? The glucagon and the autophagy from extracting and burning your oil. Okay? The fatty, your lipids. As long as you're not disrupting that too often, hopefully everything will cleanse that. Important thing right now, you've already learned about autophagy. You want autophagy to kick in more often. So if you keep interrupting it, again, the process is too little. Okay, too slow, not enough. So again, just over 72 hours or 4 days, you're not having enough cleansing. Okay, you want to feel a lot. Again, I would say that probably most of you should be able to achieve the same thing as, what here she said, fresh. You already feel fresh, very fresh. 3rd day, Susan. Okay, that's very good. Lost about about 3 kg already. Wow. The other thing is also loss of water retention. Okay, this also helps because sometimes certain people, of course, there's fats, there's bone, there's the food you eat, the caloric intake, but as you're doing it, you're also losing some of the water that you've been retaining. So again, weight will also go down. That's also very healthy. During normal time, can we eat the 3 types of oil together? Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. All oil can be taken together. Okay, these are foods. Okay, they do not disrupt each other. All right, you're not taking unless you're one of those that's been prescribed. Okay, medicine. You have to take a medicine after meal and all that. Then you actually have to space it out. Okay, those of you that has got medicine, fasting doesn't mean that you do not take your medication. Fasting includes your prescribed medication. That cannot stop. All right, or else we'll be prescribing the wrong thing. No, all right. Of course, but if your body condition is so adverse that on those medication you totally do not feel right, then if it's a chronic problem long term, then you really cannot start on it. All right, there won't be an end point or where you finish your medication and you can start on this. But for the rest of us, during medication, you feel headache, you have fever, or you're feeling under the weather, you take paracetamol and whatnot. Of course, during those periods, do not consume, do not go on our regime. But after that, when you're in a normal regime, normal, healthy, day-to-day progress, then start on this light fasting again. Okay? With medication, what is the time interval? Probably about 30 minutes, I guess. Just give it time to digest. But especially after meals, those things that need you to eat first, then you take this first, along with your meal. Then wait 30 minutes, then you take your medication. Okay? Unless those medication require you that you do not take meal before meal. Any other? I never cheat, but 2 p.m. eat 1 boiled egg. Okay. Okay. All right. The egg, choose a smaller one. Okay, just joking. All right. Any other questions? Good. Anyone want to show your face and ask question in person to the camera? Any other questions? We're still 10 to 10. Come on. That day I noticed Chupei end her presentation at 9 p.m. and took 1 whole hour to non-stop question, which is okay, which is really good. What about supplements? Okay, it's all right. By supplements, I guess would be all your usual vitamin B complex, vitamin C, calcium, and okay, those are all right. Okay, as long as that you do not want to introduce those, look at the content. If it's supplement, it's not medication. Really, strictly speaking, okay, over this 4 days, there are certain, let's say the amount is quite high that you've been taking, those you can also cut if they are supplements, right? Stick with the intra-way diet regime, okay? You're not losing. What you look at that combination of the Cell Pro, the Intra-Well, the Intra-Gut, you know how much supplementary plus all the lipids, all your omega-3, 6, 7, 9, that's more than enough supplements, okay? So I wonder what, maybe you can just also enlighten us. What other supplements are you taking along, with your usual, Intra Oil and Intra-Well and Cell Pro, all this up to this moment? How do we face the items that we need to take? 8, 2. Just simply one after another is okay. Okay, you can simply start with your Cell Pro first. Okay, first stir, shake, all that. 5-10 minutes later, start taking an oil. The rest can be just drink, right? Like your even Intra-Gut or Intra-Gut, just pour straight into things. Just sip a bit of water. You don't have to just stir, dilute everything. You don't want to take too much water also. Okay. These are foods. Foods is never that critical in its sequence of taking, right? And they actually do not conflict with one another. That's an important thing. Any other? I mean during normal times. No, definitely not. Whatever times, all times. Okay, not just normal times or fasting time. No, at all times, right? Everyone have your own preference. Sometimes depend on when you want to take. Usually, like the oils, you can go with the food. Okay, it's very nice because sometimes when you go out, you take your main course, right? The oil go with the main course. Okay, before that, Cell Pro, normal time, we always advise, because to cut down on the absorption of sugar and all that, right, all the carbo, you take Cell Pro half an hour before your main meal, especially breakfast, okay? So you will go back to your normal sandwich or whatever, okay, cake, cereals, all that. Have your Cell Pro first, wait 30 minutes, then you take your meal proper. Yeah, this is a very good, interval for Cell Pro. If you take, usually some of our members take only one Cell Pro a day, and usually in the morning breakfast. But we have also a lot of members that actually take Cell Pro before each meal. So all 3 meals, they actually have got Cell Pro before 30 minutes, half an hour before taking the meal. You find that they lose weight faster. Muscle builds up more. Wonderful. Without fasting, that one's real fasting. Right now, what we want to focus on really is fasting, albeit very light fasting, and the ability to trigger autophagy. Okay, once we trigger autophagy, we want autophagy to run its course at least, in length, in periods that make sense. Okay, give it more time to destroy, give it more time to detox, give it more time to break down, the parts, the proteins and all that to retain the good components and, flush off, let the enzymes, dissolve all the bad components and so on and so forth. That's autophagy. But the moment you introduce, the moment you cheat, you eat, okay, insulin kicks in, blood, GI goes up, A1C goes up, blood sugar goes up, insulin is pumped out, autophagy stops. Okay, autophagy stops. So you want, during this fasting period, you want it to keep going during that period. How is this different? It's easy, but need to not necessary. So this one is just cleansing. I mean, the thing is that if you actually can maintain this over a long time, but you it's actually healthy enough, but you don't have to do it. You still want to, let's say, a healthy diet or basically a healthy lifestyle comprises everything, right? To say that what we have for you during this fasting period, just Cell Pro and the lipids from Incha Oil and Balance and Incha Guard, is enough nutrients for you and Incha Well, right? It's totally wrong and short-sighted. It's not true. You need a combination of everything for your body. Okay, there's a lot of other things in whatever food. Okay, some healthy, some unhealthy. You need a combination, but a moderate. You just don't go overboard. But every now and then, okay, lighten the load on your system. Introduce autophagy, let it do its process, flush it through, recycle through, destroy some of the bad stuff. Then start again, and go out again and eat your regular, right? Your regular, delicious, unhealthy stuff moderately, and the rest try to, consciously then go for the healthy stuff. Okay, the amount is important. Okay, calories important. Doesn't mean that you always have to, nutrition to lose weight, you have to count calories. Some people find it very tiresome to always count. This morning I ate 2 eggs, 1 piece of bread, and and then this calorie is this plus this plus this plus this. And today, how much time I'm going to work, how long I'm going to go to the gym to exercise. End of night, I calculate again, so calorie in, calorie out, whether there's a balance, or I probably will put on weight, It's that. Don't have to go to that extent if you are not really keen. You just want to live a healthy life and enjoy your lifestyle, okay? This is one of those things that you can, that will contribute towards a healthy lifestyle. And if you are used to it, since it's so easy, so it's light, okay, then you can do this a bit more often, like say, maybe at least once a month, if not more frequently, okay? This light regime. Like some of our members now they're already starting. So in a way, they are already like fasting, not just for that 4 days, right? They may be like fasting for easily, 6-8 days. Okay, but you need to feed yourself again because your body, you starve it, then you actually just reward it, right? Moderately. How can we consume 2 sachets of Incha Alter every meal during the light fasting? No, why not? Why not? You shouldn't. No, there's no satiety. Your brain won't be telling you you're full because of that Cell Pro or because of that 1 packet. After 1 packet of oil, you feel very full, right? that 3 ml, so the 6 ml is not gonna tell your brain that, you know, I'm already too full for the extra 6 ml. Right, after every meal, it's good. You need the lipids, all right? You need all this fatty acids there along with your meal. If light fasting starts on Saturday, can take 2 packets CellPro at 2 p.m. instead of 1 packet. Okay, if really you feel, let's say after, see if you can do it at 1. We don't want your caloric intake to be also too high. Okay. Now the thing is, like say, I mentioned before, whether or not the focus right now, insulin resistance is bad for your body. Okay. The moment insulin kicks in, autophagy stops. There's also, okay, a bit of evidence that says that even if there's too much protein intake, autophagy may be interrupted. Okay, so if you boost your CellPro intake because of all the amino acids and all that, that may or may not actually disrupt the autophagy. That's the reason. Okay, try to maintain what's recommended, and we'll see. Then we compare notes. I mean, all lots of learning is what the company, Inchaway, myself, and what we are sharing right now. Is this the absolute 100% factual? It may also vary from person to person. Okay, but this is as best as we know. So let's compare notes after this first light fasting. How about that? Okay, I think it's important if you can, right? Rather than just increase. So the next question someone else will ask, but you know, dinner I'm so used to a much heavier dinner because my breakfast and my lunch is usually like I'm used to a regime of heavy dinner. Then you'll ask whether dinner can take 2 packets or 3 packets of CellPro. Okay, so again, just maintain that and see. You see that we're actually decreasing it from breakfast through lunch through dinner. Dinner is the lightest. Okay, in the light fasting regime recommended by Inchaway, it's the lightest. That means you actually take the least. Any other questions? And drinking water will overcome hunger. Absolutely. Okay. Usually the common sense is always 2 liters now, at least 3 liters. 3 liters, 3,000 cc of water. Okay, in this case, water, not fruit juices, not coffee, not nothing. Water, plain, clean, unadulterated water, okay? Make us feel full. Sometimes, some people, yes, but for a while, it doesn't last that long. Okay, CellPro has been used by many of our members as a sort of a meal replacement, 代餐 sometimes. Okay, but if you're not used to it, you'll also feel hungry after 2 hours or so. Okay, but for that moment, if you just take in CellPro, you actually do feel full. You actually do feel a bit full because it's actually also the fluid content, the water, along with your CellPro. Right? Depends how much you stir. You make it thicker, then you'll be less than 250. But usually, like 250 ml, that's still an amount of water that's going in. Okay? So it does. Some of our friends here, obviously in this group, they do take a lot of CellPro, or they used to use CellPro as a meal replacement. Okay, it happens. And it works actually. It does work. All right, any last questions? Okay, if not, does everyone want to take a picture together? Just turn on your video, please. Then Vivian can take a screenshot. Does CellPro improve skin compliance? Yes, absolutely. You also not just skin compliance. You actually end up fairer because of the pandan extract there, the pandan leaf. Okay, your skin will actually complexion becomes fairer also. That's CellPro. That's one of the effects of CellPro. OK， 来打开，把所有的镜头打开，我们拍一个团体照。Let's see, I view as a gallery view. Yay! Hello， 加油加油，加油加油 ！Yeah, everyone. The rest, where the rest of you？ 还有多一点人来 ，more. Yay! stop eating. Everyone stop eating. No cheating. Okay, everyone stop eating. No more eating. Right now it's 10 p.m. now just hungry, just go to bed. Well, thanks to all the Inchaway staff. 10 p.m. still in the office. All right. Hello. Okay, 加油加油. Well done. Auntie what? Sheila, is it? Is it Sheila Ho?
Yes.
Fasting. Good. Where are the rest of you? Are you those are We have what? 50. Now left with 54, right? I got. Come on, let's do. Vivian, you can do your shot. Not enough people now. We only have what? 12, 1 dozen. We have only 1 dozen with no more English classes already. Okay, you want more regular? We have to do it more often. More people. Hello. Any other thing to share? I mean, everyone okay? Everyone doing okay so far, right? No problem, right? Okay, good. Very good, very good. Okay, that's it. 1, 2.
Done?
One, two, three.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Melvin. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye bye. Good night.
Bye, thank you.
Go to sleep. Midnight. Don't wake up to go to the fridge. Okay. Bye bye.